Okay, so welcome to my shop. I'm gonna start a hobbyist YouTube channel, machining. Today's project is not machining. What sets me apart from other channels is I have no idea what I'm doing. I just fool around. My lathe, South Bend 9, South Bend metal shaper, some other nonsense. It's a basement machine shop. I just picked up a new toy, and I'm trying to get the cabinet that it's going to set on cleaned up and painted and ready to go. So bear with me, and I'll take shots of the progress and get advice. What I'm hoping for in this channel is to get advice from other people who actually know what they're doing, as opposed to me who don't really know what's going on. But I'm having fun figuring it out, so stick around. Okay, so welcome to my shop. I'm gonna start a hobbyist YouTube channel, machining. Today's project is not machining. What sets me apart from other channels is I have no idea what I'm doing. I just fool around. My lathe, South Bend 9, South Bend metal shaper, some other nonsense. It's a basement machine shop. I just picked up a new toy, and I'm trying to get the cabinet that it's going to set on cleaned up and painted and ready to go. So bear with me, and I'll take shots of the progress and get advice. What I'm hoping for in this channel is to get advice from other people who actually know what they're doing, as opposed to me who don't really know what's going on. But I'm having fun figuring it out, so stick around. Yeah, it's going a lot better than it did with the drill. Not looking to get perfect, just looking to get all the rust that's underneath the paint, and I found quite a bit of it off before I put a new coat of paint on. And it's a rather large table, if you can't tell from just the top of your cabinet. So there's going to be quite a bit of this grinding going on. I'm glad this is quicker than the previous way. More later. Well, guys, I got the top done, and then I got careless and didn't install the cutting wheel when I went to set it down the last time. And I don't know if you can see that. That is what happened. It's my middle finger, the good one. Damn it. So I'm gonna go up and throw a band-aid. That is missing a good chunk of skin. Holy crap. Nothing to stitch up, so no hospital trip needed, but the skin is just gone. Golly. And like I told you, I don't know what I'm doing. That was a stupid mistake. Always stall it when you're done before you set it down. Okay, Band-Aid. Ugh, hate this. Got the shakes now. Never fun hurting yourself in the shop, but out of all the injuries you can have, it hurts, but it's fairly minor. Always remember, when you do cut yourself, hurt yourself in the shop, grab the filthiest rag you can find to then wrap your injury up in. That way you can guarantee infection. No questions. So yeah, threw a band-aid on. As you can see, it's already sort of bleeding through. That is a chunk of skin that's gone. So that's probably going to heal up with a divot, which sucks. It's my favorite middle finger. That is my favorite. You get that. Hey, screw you! Learn how to drive. And now it's injured. Potentially badly. Good night. Alright, so I'm going to throw a rubber glove on, and then I'm going to wipe this down with some, wipe it down with some alcohol. Not the hand, the bench I'm working on here. I haven't told you what that goes to yet, but that's for a reason. Actually I don't have alcohol, I have acetone. That'll work just fine as well. As long as I don't cut the glove and get acetone on my new cut. Woohoo! That's a tingle. You guys ever had that? Leave a comment if you have. You had the acetone and an open wound tingle. It's a great way to check. If you're not sure if you've scratched or injured yourself, just wipe something down with acetone and you will find out. Tip of the day. Acetone is a great wound discoverer. This thing. Look, I even had the guard on it, huh? I put the guard on for the video because I was sure if I didn't, someone would say, "You'll cut your hand off without the guard." Yeah, see that? I can do it with the guard. Most talented guy on YouTube. So I'm just going to give this a quick wipe down. Check it out one more time real good and make sure that there's a little light rust in areas. It's not even really rust, just dark spots. But it's a lot better than it was. It looked pretty decent with the paint on it, but everywhere I hit it with the grinder around a rusty spot, I'd find for inches underneath the paint rust. So I think I'm going to call this pretty good. Maybe not. Maybe challenge. Double down and see if I can lose the whole finger. Huh? A couple more spots there. But I'll come back when I have it ready, and I'm going to give it a light coat of paint tonight and let it sit up. Alright, thank you. Alright guys, so this is Hard Rock 6.8 again. Little update. I have the top painted up pretty good. You can see a lot of overspray. My shop is a disaster. I have the doors all taken apart, ready to go. Sorry to have you off the tripod, but easiest way to show you all this stuff. And then in the corner here, I have the shelf. Shop colors are orange and blue. You can see here's my drill press. The surplus store had a great sale on blue rattle can paint. Looks nice, comes out pretty decent. My wife, being a very stylish lady, wonderful wife who allows me to build a machine shop in the basement and sometimes set the house on fire and cut my finger off and all that good stuff. She suggested orange, so that's what I'm doing. I have a transfer punch in there right now. After I cleaned this up and rebuilt it, this is an old Buffalo Forge. My father worked at Eastman Kodak, and he just table is a catch-all. I'm sure you guys do the same. My father worked at Eastman Kodak, and this is an old M model, which means it has no table, just the base. And there are 3 holes. The 4th one is kind of questionable, but 3 very nicely drilled holes that I imagine once held a fixture. If you swing the drill press head on its axis, it rotates in the base. If you swing it, it doesn't actually line up with any of those holes. So those are not accidental peck marks. Those are actually purpose drilled holes, and when I had it cleaned out, it almost looked as though they were threaded. So I imagine it held a fixture, and some lucky guy got to run this handle all day long. Probably that one, and that's why it's missing. But my father worked at Eastman Kodak. It was a machine they were getting rid of, and he took it, sat in his barn for years. He used it, and when I started building a machine shop, I inherited it. The problem with it is after I tore it down, cleaned it, rebuilt it, took the remnants of the guard. It wasn't a full guard. Don't get all excited. I need to put a guard on this. It was just a bracket that mounted like right here, and this portion was all, it must have had bent sheet metal at one point, and that's all gone. It was an ugly contraption and needed to go. So it's gone. But I fixed some problems with it. I had missing teeth on this rack. This pinion gear that rides on the rack there to adjust the head height. Since there's no table, that's the only way to adjust the height on this particular one. It's an old, I think I already said, Buffalo Forge. Wonderful machine. That thing is heavy. It's got to be 300 pounds. 250, 300. But yeah, you can see the shop colors. That's what I was getting at. Eventually the shaper and the lathe will be painted the same. Back to the table here. This is what I started the video. I'm not going to show you all the sanding and painting because who cares? You guys are going to be bored, but you'll never believe what I found. I don't know what this bench did in a prior life, but I imagine it has something to do with that. It is an epoxy packet. It has that wonderful smell of two-part epoxy and that sticky, filthy, nasty stuff that apparently hasn't cured after all these years. Probably only one side got opened. There's a popsicle stick, a nice stainless steel brush. Those are pretty heavy bristles on it. This was all stuff I dug out of the little cavities there in the legs. There's 4 of them. And I heard something rattling around when we loaded the truck up. This was back there. I don't know how that got hit because it clearly doesn't fit in the cavity, but when I picked the bench up there was nothing in it. It looked empty, so this must have been stuffed in a corner, maybe up front like that. And with the doors on, you couldn't see. It says clear coat injection mold protection. There's still probably half a can of it left, whatever it is. Ends wiping of cavities. Yeah. Spray number G316. G is not a number. Yeah, that was in there. Don't know what I will use it for. 10373 Stanford Road, Chagrin Falls, Ohio. Chagrin Falls, Ohio. Oh, anyone lives in Chagrin Falls, this could be your guys' claim to fame. IMS. It was some random pin, not exciting. A old ball and roller bearing. I opened this up already. I'll open it again. Wrapped. I've never seen a bearing wrapped in this cardboard foil stuff before. It's just a little ball bearing. Let's see if I can see the number. Patent number 2467049 MCR R8ZZ. I don't know much about bearings, but I got one now. And this is the coolest thing. See, the box is serialized. It says Orangeburg, I don't know if you can see it, Orangeburg SC. Let's see if we can focus. It's not wanting to focus. It says UTICA, the Triangle Corp. And just open this, sorry. There is the tiniest little pair of side cutters. And that's here, that's my injured middle finger for reference. It's not very big. They're spring loaded with a set screw to set the depth. And I tried using these just to snip some zip ties, wire ties, and it was a bear because apparently the depth is set so I don't know, it looks like it makes good contact, but it it was a bear to cut those. And they seem very sharp and new. When I first took them out, they were still in the plastic wrap. So, I don't know. I'm assuming you guys are scroungers too, or you know, most small machine shop guys are. It's hard to find this stuff for a reasonable price. Well, not this stuff. This stuff is kind of junk, but you know, the tools that we use. The equipment you need, dial indicators, test indicators, surface plates, lathes, milling machines, shapers, all that stuff is hard to come by. So I imagine you guys like me are scroungers, so when you get a bonus with your buy, like a bunch of miscellaneous junk you'll never use, it's kind of cool. Well, I mean, I don't know what I'd use the mold release for, but the wire brush and the clippers there, I can use those. Ball bearing? Who knows? Who knows? But hey, I'll do another update video here in a bit. This has been, as you can tell by the healing on my injury there, this is about 3 days after I started this project. Not much has happened. A couple coats of paint, some more sanding. Like I said, pretty boring stuff. I'll show you what's going on. There's maybe hard to see in the video, but some pretty good rust here, and on the bottom where I put one of those casters, those holes for casters already. There were no casters when I purchased this, so I added some Horrid Freight specials. I'm sorry, some Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight, sponsor me! I could always use YouTube sponsors. First video already begging for sponsors, right? But I put those in, and I don't know if you can see, I don't know if it still shows it. They canted pretty aggressively. You know, probably only a 5 or 6 degree cant, but with the rust down there and that, it's got me worried. So that's what started the cleanup repaint project. What I'm going to do, what I plan on doing, is I have some angle iron, and I'm going to reinforce these edges right here and the bottom with the angle iron. Drill it. Put some more nut and bolts in there, and machine screws and bolts, I suppose, and drill them and remount the casters, hopefully making this a little bit more rigid, because it does have a bit of weight to support. And yeah, I'm sure you guys know more storage in your home shop is always handy. However much storage you have, it never seems like enough. But yeah, I'll give you a better tour of the shop later. Right now, it is a disaster. So, yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you've stuck around to this point in the video. If you haven't, I guess you... So, cut some chunks of angle iron. We got the casters in, and just a couple of screws holding it. A couple of bolts holding it for right now. And I'm trying to reinforce this bottom lip. It was pretty well rusted. You can still see... through a couple coats of paint, you can still see the well, I guess it actually came out better than I thought, but there's some soft spots and pitting still, and it's going to carry quite a load. So yeah, you can see the angle iron back in there, and I plan on just adding a couple more fasteners right through here and up here, try to stitch that all together. Keep it carrying that load the way I want it to, because yeah, it's going to be a pretty big cabinet, and I want to be able to store stuff in it and something on it, which is the great secret. The actual purchase, this just came with well, I'll show you now. It's a disaster and dusty because I've been sanding down here. This is a, oh, don't scratch anything. This is a surface plate I picked up, 24 by 36 by 3 granite surface plate. There was no rating on it, no stickers, no markings. I think for some reason I felt like there was a maker's one, but I'm checking it again. Unless it's on the back side, there is not. So that right now is just sitting on this old kitchen table. The fellow I purchased it from had it on this cart, and the only problem with the cart is casters, and I would like to be able to, not that I'm going to move the surface plate frequently, but if I have call to move it, I'd like to be able to do it without a hand cart and a team of horses and all that. So I figured casters is the way to go. It also has provisions. I've lost it. No, I haven't. It's here. These are the sides, and the sides have knockouts. I might have showed those already. Knockouts to run power receptacles. So I'm going to wire it up and just leave it corded on the rear, so I can plug it in. Have some live power receptacles, maybe wire it up with a couple of lamps while I'm at it. So I'll plug it in and I get some lighting for the surface plate. I'm sure that would be nice, but alright, more rambling. I gotta get back to work. This has taken far too long, but right now I'm optimistic that I'm gonna get it done in the next week or so. So thank you guys. Oh, this is my whipped old rigid bandsaw. It's got that little bitty table which I haven't dared use yet, and it did chew through a couple pieces of pretty large angle iron really well for me. So well it actually must have devoured the scrap. Still can't figure out where that bounced off to. But as you can see, the shop is not clean right now. This is not my typical. Trust me, guys. I'm cringing as well. But you can only do so much with the time you got. And right now, I gotta get this back together so I can get all this shit stored. And then the carts back where they belong. Things tidied up. A good sweep and mop is in the carts as well. But yeah, thanks for watching. And it's probably just gonna be my mom, maybe my wife, who actually watches this. So hey Mom, I love you. Okay, thanks guys, bye. Hi. So here's the nearly finished product. Got the table back together. Surface plate is on it. I need to make a cover. As you can see, there was a few scuffs getting the surface plate back up on there. I had to have a buddy come over. The plate, if anyone's curious, is a Standridge. It's hard to see part of that label. It's a Standridge Granite Corp. It's 2 foot by 3 foot. The orange, I need to put the hardware back on the doors. Check out my arm, and lots of storage. As I showed you earlier, beefed up the bottom so you get some casters on it. Surface plate was heavy. I didn't want to. Its final resting place is going to be this tabletop, this cabinet. I just wanted to be able to move the cabinet around easily. Need to get a cover sewn up. My mother-in-law is a great seamstress, so Christmas. But yeah, I just have a handful of fasteners to reinstall. I had to rush getting it back together, and I didn't get as much video because there was a new addition to the shop. Kind of funny how that happens. I get the surface plate and table, and before I'm even done working on that, I got something new, and I'll show you that. Just a quick sneak peek. Here are the pieces to a milling machine. It is, as you can see on the label, upside down, a Shandong Shinko Ltd ZX50C. Brand new. It's got some surface rust. It's been sitting quite a while, and it's going to be sitting a while longer before I get to it. I do need to clean it these ways. You hear that? That one's smoother. This bottom one's smoother than the top. But inside the V it feels alright. Fell out of New Hampshire. Ordered 3 of these. One was damaged in shipping. One he set up and used, and the other he let sit on the pallet for a couple of years. And you'll see the wonderful workmanship. This is the saddle, and you can see it's just chocked right full of casting sand. All the machine surfaces are fairly rough, but it is brand new, and the whole thing, 3-horse main motor, the table, I can't remember the table dimensions off the top of my head. Fairly large table. This is actually, it rotates, so you can tilt the table side, change it side to side. Horsepower X and 1 horsepower X and Y power feeds, DRO. You got it all for $2,000 and a box of right off the boat accessories, including a vise. He loved his, said it was great quality, everything he could ever hope for, yada yada yada. I'm a little hesitant. Everything I've looked at has just been chocker block full of this Bondo. And the machining isn't awful, but it's not great either. And then you have some surprises like this. This is the door to the cabinet, and it's just left rough as cast. My buddy who helped me load it up and bring it here was actually playing around, feeling that, going, "Oh, it's not too bad. Ah, I cut myself." Yeah, it was funny. I had a little chuckle. So there's lots of improvement for a fella looking for a cheap basement shop. I mean, some of the stuff, it's like, look, there's two holes in that. Geez, it's hard to see. Sorry, lighting. There's 2 holes in that hinge there. But they only bothered putting 1 screw in, and then on the door side here, where you can see they did excellent prep for their paint. Just flakes right off when you touch it. Yeah, look at that. The door, they just tack welded it on. So just whatever they could do to save a buck. That's where we split the base in the cabinet, and you can see they just bondoed that together quickly before paint. It's not a bad looking machine. She did take some slight damage in transport, but that's to be expected when you're trying to cram stuff in a basement shop. It's 1,200 pounds fully assembled. At least that's what the shipping manifest says. All the motors on it. It has the 2 1-horse power feeds and the main motor right here for the goes on there on the head. They are all 3-phase. I don't have 3-phase here. The coolant pump is also, it has a coolant tank inside there. Let's see if I can show you. Tank is about the cheapest piece of crap I have ever seen. It's buried down in there. Tank's probably going to come out. I'll remove the coolant setup for the time being, and when I want one, I'll install something a little better. Yeah, it's all the motors are 3-phase, so the plan is to get a VFD for the main motor. Just ignore the power feeds for the time being, and the coolant pump. I'm not sure what power requirements the DRO has. It's going to be needed because everything on this machine is in metric, and my brain, of course, being an American, works only in standard. I don't understand those millimeter things. I know. Why don't you Americans change over? Why? Because we like inches. It's better. And how do you metric, guys? I don't know. I don't know how to do it. But yeah, there should be 3 bolts there. I bet that's going to be a right pain in the ass. The 3rd bolt must have fell down into that hole, which buries it behind into the column. Hopefully I can extract that without too much heartache. Yeah. So the milling machine made it expedient completion of this job necessary. As you can see, there's overspray from places. I really don't care about overspray in my shop. As long as it stays on the floors and the workbenches and not the tools, that doesn't bother me. But table's back together. So my first YouTube video. Wow. Now all I have left to do is edit this 2-3 hours worth of filming into something someone might actually care about and post it. Thank you guys for watching. Enjoy. Okay, so start by this. Yeah, picked up a new glass today. This is Optimist and Pessimist. I think I'm going to keep a couple of these down in the shop. That is Long Island iced tea. And that's the sound of me spitting some chew. Sorry, gross, I know. You're going to die a terrible death, I get it. I think they got it backwards though. It says Optimist up top and Pessimist on the bottom. Now, when I start drinking, I'm typically a pessimist, but by the time I get here, my optimism is rising. So I think they got this backwards. But I'll reserve judgment for now. So